Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to another exciting episode of the S Files, the Shaffer Files, or the Tony Files. We're rearranging things here at the ranch, and we're going to have a whole new kind of setup by the 1st of March. We're going to go through. We'll announce everything soon. But without further ado, I'm going to announce Chris Cordani. Good morning, Chris. Or good afternoon.
Heyo.
Sorry, by 5 minutes. So, is it true? I think we talked about it the other night. The folks didn't catch it unless they were subscribing, which they should subscribe. Is it true that you're going to be Yukon Cornelius in a movie where they bring back the Island of Misfit Toys? Is that true?
They are. It's going to be Rudolph 3 because they had a second one. They had Rudolph Shiny New Year. This is going to be Rudolph 3, the elderly Misfit Toys Island, where I'm going to play the elderly Yukon Cornelius, who's still been in there, and he actually raced a diatrod. Lost because he wanted to get some silver and peppermint bark. So it's another story for another day.
Yeah. So I thought they were going to do Rudolph 3. Rudolph Joins ICE. That would have been a good movie. That would have been exciting to see Rudolph running around catching illegals.
They were going to have me handle this, by the way. They were going to have me play Rudolph instead of Yukon Cornelius, but then they'd have to call it Rudolph the Big-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, man. I could go into some Italian jokes, but I won't right now. So anyway, no, I won't do that. I won't do that. I do get off of my little jokey trends, but not today. Because we got a guest. We got to bring in Marha Byrne. Martha is coming to us this Wednesday. Hey, Martha. Good afternoon.
Hi, Martha.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here on board. So, Martha, as you know, has been on a campaign to get her husband cleared from a lot of different silliness. Martha was at the White House. Martha, tell us a little about the recent struggle. It's all been good, right? You guys are prevailing, right?
My husband, after 5 years of being dragged through the Biden DOJ and the nightmare, my husband actually is completely innocent. NYPD hero, retired, turned private investigator, did some legal work in 2016, and they decided to charge him with violating the Foreign Agent Registration Act, which is
a rare charge, a very rare charge.
Very rare charge, especially when there's no evidence of any connection to a foreign government at all, zero. So, we fought back, which again,
good.
When the DOJ goes after you and wins 99% of their cases, the odds are pretty much stacked against you. But he did nothing wrong. So we fought it. I've never seen in my life the kind of behavior that happened in that courtroom and the lying by the prosecutors and the fabrication of evidence and deleting. I mean, it was a mess. You've heard it before. I'm not telling you anything new. Donald Trump went through it. They make up stuff just to get convictions. And my husband had to go to federal prison. I mean, he was in federal prison for 3 months.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Andrew Weissman is a master of that stuff. Everything from Enron on. I mean, they have a cluster of evil over at DOJ, Martha, and I'm really sorry you guys bumped into that evil. They are literally Satan's disciples. It's horrible. But your husband was pardoned. Is that correct?
He was on November 7th. Congressman Michael Lawler, who was an advocate since day one for years.
Good man.
Excellent.
Great man. We're not his constituents. I think that's important to know. And he fought for us every day. And he called me and said, "Is Mike around? Can you get Mike on the phone?" Because he was in the halfway house at that point in New Jersey. Wow. And I patched him in. And Congressman Lawler said, "I just got off the phone with the president, and you have a full and unconditional pardon."
Wow. That's fabulous.
Incredible. So we got him home the next day. The paperwork had to come through. And then we also heard incredible news that the prosecutors have agreed to vacate the indictment and the conviction.
Good.
So he is completely cleared of everything. But, we had to go through that, and nobody should. I mean, if you're innocent, you should never have to, be bankrupt.
No, well, we'll talk about that more probably when we do a one-on-one on this, but lawfare is a real thing. Lawfare was used. So even if you're not convicted, which most people are, the process is the punishment, the enormous cost of defending yourself. And that's what was done by the Democrats and the Biden folks against Trump and his team. Obviously, anybody who supported the president was in the sights of the DOJ. And I for one feel we have not gone far enough to account and prosecute those who were engaged in this lawlessness. Uh,
I agree.
my friend Bennett McFadder talks about color of law.
Mm,
Color of law basically is the term of art when the government decides, yeah, we don't have anything on you, but we're going to use our immense power against you as a political punishment. And that's what happened here, clearly. So, God bless you and your husband for getting it cleared up. That's
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you. I think just recently it was a very interesting clip. If people want to understand how prosecutors get away with this stuff, is that recently there was a hearing, an appellate hearing, I guess, for Tina Peters in Colorado, and the prosecutor had to go up into the speak, and even the judges were questioning her about, wait a minute, did you take a misdemeanor and misuse it to the jury to make it look like a felony? And she said yes. I mean, if you watch that clip, it's only like 3 minutes long. I think that's a perfect encapsulation of kind of the tactics that are done.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. In the first Trump won, we had Peter Navarro, Roger Stone. I mean, come on, the list goes on and on of people who were spied on illegally. And we were those people as well. We were just civilians that were just minding our own business. We had no political affiliation whatsoever. It was, this was a China case. So I feel like it was definitely a look over here kind of case. Look over here, don't look over there with the Bidens, because they were so knee deep into the Chinese businesses and money and Jim Biden. I mean, the whole mess of them. And I think our case was used to kind of just distract.
Oh, they do that. Yeah. And that's why I think it's so important for us at this point. Again, we're a year in. There's some things we're going to be talking about on the show this Thursday, right, Chris? About what we would have done differently. And there's a lot I would have done differently regarding priorities over at DOJ and the FBI. And, I think that we're standing a year in and there's not enough indictments, safe to say, against the bad guys, as far as I'm concerned. So
well, in our case, in our case, it appears that 3 of the prosecutors were fired in my husband's case, which is great news. They kind of slipped out the back door, and they don't usually do that. Usually they go out with a fanfare and a big party and a big balloon ceremony, and 3 of them were curiously gone. And they don't do that. They don't go out without a bang. So we're pleased about that. So there's progress. It's just some need to be held accountable, indicted. They need to be arrested. I mean, if you lie on a search warrant, I mean, the case agent in my husband's case lied on every search warrant. Illegal search warrants, spying on us for years. And that's a crime. I mean, if you go in front of a judge and claim something that's true, or similarly in like the Carter Page case, which is now going up to the Supreme Court, which is amazing. They left out key information in those search warrant applications so that they could get the search warrant. And that happened to us too. Yep. They left out very, very important information. So
no, I know Carter Page is a personal friend, and Carter, man, I mean, truth be told, he was actually a CIA asset working for us, and they went completely against him, say, "Oh no, he's one of them." That's how bad, that's how far they're willing to go to get to.
That's exactly right. So you're saying, so you just brought it up. So they leave out that piece of information in the FISA warrant application to spy on him. They don't put in there that he was this worker. So it's by omission, and that's equally criminal to me. I mean, if it's awful. It is. It's awful. And I Carter Page has been suffering since 2016 for this, and it's horrific. I feel for him. I pray for him because I know how he feels. I know what he's going through. It's just awful. Yeah.
So, well, speaking of someone who's awful, we're going to get on to talk to some awful folks.
Good.
Right, Chris? We're going to be talking about Mullah Omar. No. Sorry, Ilhan Omar. I think they're related, though, right? One Omar leads to another.
That's the first topic. Yes, that seems to be the big news from last night or yesterday, whatever that occurred.
Chris, I can't hear you. Yeah, did the Omar, the rug merchant, get your throat?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. She
there he
poured
is.
She had somebody squirt me with something. I'm not sure what it was. Here's the thing, though. If you're watching this, and I want to thank you for doing so, don't forget to subscribe to us. Subscribe to Tony Shaffer's YouTube channel. Share this feed, by the way, with your friends. Tell people about it. This is a lot of fun. If they're not seeing this, they're missing out. This is fun. Yeah. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Tony at T-Spooky on X. Get a lot more
Yeah,
stuff,
and check us
including
out. We're
deep
going to be
dives.
doing more content on X, right, Chris? We're going to
Yes, we
actually
will.
have a lot of stuff. Yeah,
As the great Baldric
So-
would say, we have a cunning plan.
we actually do. We've decided on it. Now we got to figure out how to do it. So, piece by piece, right?
Right.
No
Now,
aerosols
as far as,
are involved in the plan, right? But aerosols were involved last night.
No, and nope. We did have some really interesting discussions so far. And your discussion with the Sunday debrief, which is what we also have on X. You have him
Yeah.
with General Blaine Holt, and of course Navy Captain Pete O'Brien. There was a deep dive you had with them as well with Sal from Let's Talk About Shipping. That was really interesting as well.
What's going on with shipping? With the question mark, which I got on him. It's like, why do you have the question
What's
mark?
going on with
It's like,
shipping? Yes.
Yeah. What's like, is that a question? It's like, is that a question? I don't know.
A lot.
Anyway, yeah.
It could be a question.
And he
To peep
lives
or
here in
not
North
to peep, that
Carolina,
is the question.
same where I live too, by the way. So that's good. We haven't
No, really?
decided to go and
Well,
legislate away
Well,
magazines down to 10 rounds like they're doing in Virginia right now. Just saying. So
Wow. Crazy times.
I do
yeah.
have
All
something
right, so
for
Chris,
you. and
are
you
we
did
going to talk
mention Tina
about
Peters before?
oh, well, I thought we were going to talk about Ilhan Omar. I mean, we could talk about
We
Mullah
will,
Omar.
but
too. I think he's dead.
I think it's about the same thing. Maybe that's her brother. Anyway, brother, husband, whatever
don't
you
think
want to
so.
call it. But you did mention Tina Peters, and I think I know what happened to her.
All right.
They, I'm trying to pull it up here. Here we go. That's not it. That's her. But here's what they did to Tina Peters. They actually brought her to the village. That's why we haven't
Yeah,
heard from her.
pretty
in a while.
much.
This is terrible. She should be freed, but I believe they sent her to the village.
We got to have Matt wants to do a show on this too.
By the way, that's why I
by
was
the way.
stalling.
Yeah.
we
That's
have
good.
a good number of people that want to
I
do a
like
show
that.
on a prisoner. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a story that needs to be heard more every single day, because she is an elderly. I mean, see, she's older woman, and she's ill. She's sick. She shouldn't be where she is. It's a state case, so the president only has a limited amount of ability to and get involved in that, and it's which is unfortunate. My husband's case was federal, so we had that in our favor for the president to intervene to make this right. So there's some people don't understand exactly what happened in Colorado with Tina Peters, but I feel that it seems to be overwhelmingly supportive of her to be free. But when you watch the clip, like I said, of the prosecutor trying to tap dance in front of the 3 appellate judges who are giving her a hard time, thank goodness, it's glaring how clear it was that they just wanted her in prison because she was involved in the 2020 election and exposing the fraud.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we're gonna have more on the 2020 fraud. That's coming. I was talking to folks today about that. There is going to be an organized effort by this DOJ to look into that, which I'll announce more as soon as I know more. I know pieces and parts, but nothing has been set up. But something's coming, and I think it's important. And speaking of that, so Trump should, Chris, I think President Trump should use the Maduro option to go in and grab her out of prison. What do you think? I think it'd be kind of exciting to use Delta to grab a U.S. citizen out of Colorado. I think that's a movie of the week right there. So that'd be cool.
Well, I think the Biden administration actually has her guarded by both the dreadful Flying Glove and Rover. So that's not very good. It's going to be very tough. She knows too much. This is the person that knows too much that the left does not want released, because they know she's going to talk.
Yep.
That's what they don't want to hear. But she must be freed. It's an injustice. But you said you wanted to talk about morons. No, it was moron, the election fraud. But here's a moron anyway. Check this out. I want to ask you something. Does this seem staged to you? Here it is. Ilhan Omar was squirted by
the first thing I thought when I saw this was staged. It's like, this is not real.
And look at this.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Yeah, that's theater.
I mean, is that it? She didn't run out and take the look. Somebody squirts me with something. I don't know what it is. Could be powder, anthrax. Could be liquid. Could be something horrible.
You
like
duck.
that.
You
Those
duck.
clothes
You
are
don't
coming
chase
off.
the guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm out of the room. Those clothes are coming off. Just, oh, Martha.
My
Is
thoughts.
that good acting or bad acting?
Well, I was just before we got on, I said I want to take the road of what we always tell the other side to do is we have to hear the facts, right? We are the ones. Yeah. We are the ones, and like anything that happened in Minnesota. I come from a family law enforcement. My husband is a retired police officer. We have military in our family. Like I want to make sure that all the facts get out to the public. How many stories have destroyed people's lives with only 30 seconds, a minute of anything that's caught on camera? So to me, I feel that's my position right now, because we want our politicians to be able to go out and feel safe and have town halls. Whatever this is and whatever happened here is bad. Whether it's real or it's not real, it's bad, because if it can't go out to the communities and talk to their constituents, then they'll never have that one-on-one with their people, and that's very important, especially right now. So I think Minnesota has had fraud problems forever and ever and ever, right? Forever, ever. I mean, the great Peter Schweitzer, who just wrote a book, which is amazing, like their team have been looking into this forever, the fraud that's been going on across the country, especially in Minnesota. So the fact that it got raised to the top of the food chain is excellent, because it's a perfect example of what we just talked about. Why isn't anything being done? Well, something must be done. And look what it did. It brought it right to the top of the page. Everybody knows about it now. And now maybe something will be done about it. If there is fraud, if there is any connections to the politicians there, which there probably is, I mean, come on, it's, they can follow the money, then it needs to be exposed. And I don't know, but that's how I feel about that incident, because I want to know more. I want to be the opposite of what the other side does, which is blame, jump to, as a police officer, my husband has been in many shootings in his career when he was on the NYPD, before the internet, before phones, before all of that. Okay. I can only imagine what would have happened if some of the incidents that my husband was involved in back in the 1990s was on the news with a clip for 5 seconds, So my opinion is just that. And look, in the days of independent journalists and people like you, there's no doubt we're going to find out the truth, and it will be speedy. And like we said, it'll either disappear or it won't.
That's part of the issue. Is like I went on the X sphere today, and every account on the left is highlighting this event. It's like, oh, this is terrible. It's like, I'm not saying it's not terrible. It just seems to me it's pretty coordinated. Just saying, it's like, okay. This does not seem organic, and this has been my issue for a while. And I agree about hanging back and finding out fact, but if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. There's a pretty good chance it's a duck. And to me,
she also has a very bad reputation as far as disliking everything and hating everybody, and Americans.
Right, and I think this is part of the issue. She is under investigation. There's been a number of public admissions that she's gone from literally being in debt to $30 million in just a few years. And she's a public servant. Her salary is public, and what's not public, but people kind of can figure it out pretty easy. If you're a member of Congress, you basically double your salary. Whatever they're paying you, you have expense accounts that actually end up being double what they're paying you. So it's significant. I know I have several members of Congress who are friends and have been until kind of tell me what's inside. As a matter of fact, my friend Louis Gohmert once showed me in every member of Congress's office, they have like a little secret enclave. And so one day I'm in with my friend Louis Gohmert, Judge Gohmert. He says, "Tony, come on back here. I want to show you something." Like, oh, okay. I says, "Do you know what's in there?" It's like, I think there's a bathroom. He says, "There's a bathroom, but there's something more important." He says, "Come look at this." And in every member of Congress's little secret enclave next to the bathroom is a big old safe. He says, "That's for bribes." People could come in and give us bribes, and we put it in the safe. And he wasn't joking.
No, I'm sure he wasn't. I mean, politics is no bit different than the entertainment business. There's the TV producers and politicians. There's
Yeah.
lots of money flowing, backdoor money, and it's like
Yeah.
I've learned way too much about that in my past 5 years. And
Yeah.
so
Three things really bug me about this. And they kind of come from
Yeah.
different places, different parts of the field. One of them is, how did this guy actually get up to the front and center seat? I mean, you think about it. If you're trying to hide somewhere, I get it, hide in plain sight, but maybe you're a little more clandestine somewhere else. But we can put that aside. If he's really out to hurt Ilhan Omar, everybody knows you need to use a bucket of water, not some other substance. That'll melt her,
Well-
no problem. She'll be like, I'm melting and I can't get up.
Yeah.
Third thing, Tony, quick one on that one.
Yeah.
Third thing, I want to get this both of you. The media did not take very long in unmasking this guy and talking about him. And let's put it this way: if this person, I don't know, shut up a school and wore a wig and a dress somewhere, being male, there wouldn't be any information about this person for a long time.
Yeah. So, Martha, do you think I agree with Chris on this regarding the whole spraying of water? Do you think maybe it's an indicator that this is not real by the fact that she didn't have her flying monkeys grab the guy and fly him away? I think that,
I think
Heyo.
I would say here's what I'll say. As a writer, I've written for television, I've written books and things and that. And I say, your first instinct is to not go towards the person that assaulted you. Would be the opposite.
exactly.
That's the first thing that came from me as a writer. If I was writing that scene in a movie, I would go to the other way and go back in the back room to make sure I wasn't sprayed with something that was going to kill me, and the other people in the room. Like, wouldn't you want to know what was in that right there, right away? I mean, hazmat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, to me, that's basic policing 101. Is like that. So, but the interesting thing is, now this is interesting. I'd be curious of your take. He is arrested. His mugshot is out there. Is it worth to be arrested to be part of the game? That's my question. Is that what's the level of participation on his part to be involved in this, that he's willing to get arrested and have his mugshot all over the world? I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll learn more, because as you know, these days we can find out anything. I mean, nothing is sacred, nothing is safe. There's no way he can hide behind. I mean, the Signal chats that just came out were incredible. And learning so much more. So what do you think about that? Do you think that someone's willing to go to that point?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
So, to your point, no, I look at this as a writer. I have to write drama, and I've written a couple books, and so I always look at human nature. Human nature is always indicative of reality. There's certain things that human nature will always display, and unlike Starfleet Academy, which is written by monkeys, just saying. Man, I mean, I have not watched that, nor will I, because I get to watch Neurotic and others kind of pick it apart. It's like,
Isn't that
man,
going to be canceled, by
and-
the way?
I
think that's the
nobody
way to-
nobody on either when both the woke left don't like it and the conservative right don't like it. There's like, you've done something really bad.
The critics seem
Nobody
to love
likes
it. Yeah, the critics are like, this is so wonderful.
Well, they're
Okay.
monkeys. just
Yeah, they
saying.
probably
But
don't
anyway,
watch
back
the
to the
stuff.
topic. Human nature, I think there's certain things that you like in combat. There's certain events that happen, like explosions, like people being shot, and you react a certain way. You really can't fake it. That's one of the things. Speaking of good writing and good acting, the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan, nothing like that. It's like they got that right. And there's other things I've seen. There's been movies where I've seen human nature on display like it really is. And I think good writing always is indicative of reality. I don't know who wrote this up for the left, but it's like Chris said, it's like, okay, this guy's sitting in the front. I know for a fact when I go to events, I talk to security. That's the first thing I do. I'm a member of Law Enforcement Virginia. Your husband's a member of law. It's like there's certain things you do, and as an operative, I always case the place. As an operative, then in addition to casing, I start looking at people. You're probably familiar with the term demeanor hit. So demeanor hits are indicative of individual behavior, and so if someone shows up with a big old jacket on and is kind of acting sullen or out of sorts, you pull him aside and you do something. You don't just sit there and let him sit. Someone with that, like that, I don't think would have been allowed to just sit there in the front. Just saying, especially in the front, because
Yeah, even the
generally
shoe
speaking,
throwers hide in the back, right?
yeah, I mean,
Throwers.
this is where
The bush shoe thrower.
yeah. And so one of the things I do as security, I go engage people. And I actually saw this. TSA was actually going in this direction, which I thought was brilliant. And of course, because it was working, they stopped it. It's like, yeah, we don't want to actually do something to stop people of threat. So what they were doing, which was brilliant, they would, when you're in line to go through TSA, they sent agents out just to talk to folks. It's like, hey, that's really cool. And then if someone is up to no good, they're nervous.
Definitely.
They don't know what to say. They're like very standoffish. And then if that person exhibits a few of the traits which you know are alerting, you pull them aside. You
Right.
have an extended conversation. You don't just let someone sit in the front looking sullen and not engage them. That's the first rule of good security. You don't let a threat just kind of sit there and look like he's a threat. Just saying.
Especially
So I don't believe for a minute this person was just ignored. That doesn't happen in events, especially when there's life, especially Martha, you know this, especially if there's a threat against your life, you don't let an unknown guy with a big hoodie sit in the front and just kind of sit there and look all suspicious. Just saying.
I'd like to know who her security detail was. I think that's important to know how, and I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that to me, having been with a lot of congressmen in the last 5 years and having had, meetings wherever they were.
Exactly.
I've seen.
They all fled because of the daycare centers. Their daycare centers were all raided. They had to get out.
Oh.
So no security. Or maybe she got into one of those fake security businesses and realized, wait, there's no security guards.
No, the security guards came from, they were taught at the Leering Center. That's how they got their start.
The Leering. Oh, so
They
wow.
were too busy at a
Yeah.
winery. There we go.
The winery. That
Yeah,
doesn't-
the winery that doesn't apparently exist. I think it exists in a trailer in the back of some place in
gone.
Middleburg, Virginia.
Isn't that what just happened? It just came out yesterday or today that it's just like gone. It just poof, just disappeared. I mean, I
It
don't
was
think
abducted by aliens. It's an X-file.
that's going to be
Well,
the next thing.
Well,
I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough women to put out all the fires that are coming for this fraud.
well,
there can't be in a million places at once.
I have proof, Martha and Tony, that Omar's business, her winery, did exist. It went out of business when Nancy Pelosi switched back to vodka.
Oh,
Could be.
Nancy would be
That
very
could be.
upset that you think. Nancy would not be happy. She's very angry apparently about her.
Vodka and ice cream. That's her meal. That's her 2-course meal there.
Oh,
When you got to bring up a 110 gallons a day from a back of a tanker truck, I guess that's a lot to go away. I guess I could see that, but I'm just saying, Martha and Chris, I've been in enough events like this. I attended one just a few weeks ago. Security does not sit back and they're just not, oh, we'll let anybody in. Your job as security is to engage individuals, to look for demeanor hits, because you can't search everybody. So what you got to do is actually engage. And so I don't believe for a minute this guy just came in and sat there in the front. That just doesn't happen. So there's something fishy about this.
And they also, again, having been at some of these events in the last 5 years, is prior to them arriving, there's a few who come by and walk through and check out and make sure they sit in the crowd. They, it's like my husband and I were out the other night, and his instinct is like yours, Tony. Like he saw a guy. He goes, "That guy's dirty." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "That guy right there is dirty." I said, "How do you know that?" He goes, "I know, because this is what I do. That's my job."
Yeah.
That was my job.
Yeah.
He did security. My husband
At a certain point, you just know. Yeah.
Yeah, my husband did security actually when the Parkland shooting happened and the kids went around the country and were speaking across the country. My husband did security for them, and it was scary. Like they would get off the bus, and then there were people with AK-47s and this and that. So you can imagine, like when you have a good security guard or say security, that's their job, is to make sure everybody is safe and scan quickly. Very quickly, and make a decision that fast before something bad could possibly happen. I know, and it's like that's why I'm wondering who was her team, who was on the payroll, was it from the government, was it personal security? Like to me, as an investigator, if I was going to investigate this story, that's the first place I would go. Who was on the payroll for security? And then go backwards from there to see what happened to me.
Yep.
But
I'm with you, and I agree. Yeah.
100%. But it seems like there were certain people that seemed to be in on it, but not everybody was. Again, there's still that possibility that it's real. There's still that possibility because some idiot
And incompetence may have caught. Yeah, I mean, maybe she had maybe she had people from the Laring Center who were on the security detail.
But the whole her reaction, the whole thing, it just seemed rather suspect. So maybe it was one of her brother husband's friends. Who knows? By the way, I do want to say that Martha hosts a show on America Out Loud Radio Network called Burn Uncensored, and I really liked your take last weekend on the famed journalist Don Lemon.
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon, that's what I call him.
who, by the way, got a pass from a globalist judge, if you will, who just let it go with him. The problem is, there's a difference between journalism, even the gotcha journalism, and actually taking part in something illegal just to get clicks. YouTubers get thrown in jail for that sort of thing. Regular ones.
Well, so Chris, that's why you got that request earlier for me to get Bob Gavea on. So Bob Gavea, lawyer extraordinary, wonderful guy, was talking about this very issue. And Martha, one of the things that happened is that activist black female lawyer / pastor put in a request. She's arrested. She doesn't want the feds looking at her phone. It's like, don't look at my phone. You're going to find stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably, because what they're going to come to find, Martha, to your point about Don Lemon, is that I'll bet you they had not only texts communicating, I bet you there's coordination on there, which will change the whole narrative. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think that he went, not just that he went too far. That's obvious. He obviously, to me, in my opinion, he clearly violated the FACE Act. It's so obvious. It's like he checked every box of what he did. I think my biggest takeaway from that, which really, really makes me angry, is that here you have Don Lemon, who goes into a church where, in a state where just a few weeks prior, children were murdered, blood. I mean, it was a shootout and people died. And he walks in there and he sees children crying. He sees panicked parishioners. He goes up to the pastor and starts giving him a hard time. And I'm thinking, how self-centered do you have to be, and so unaware that he's
a narcissist. There's no doubt. He's a sociopath or a narcissist or both.
But I'm saying, I think for people to grasp, the ones that are on the left who say they're not. Ellison himself went on with Don Lemon and said, "Oh no, I don't think it was violating the FACE Act." He's a lawyer. He knows he violated the FACE Act. But there are going to be people that are going to side with that just because of the political side of it. But okay, let's take the politics out of it. This man, these people went into a church where only a few weeks prior they were murdered in the church. So everybody's on edge already, not just in that church, but all across the country. And I'll tell you, like when it came out that the Bidens were spying on churches and they were sending FBI agents into infiltrating Latin Mass, I'm Catholic. I go to church every Sunday. And I'm telling you, the hair on the back of my neck would go up if somebody new walked into the church and I didn't recognize them. How scary is that? And then Lemon takes it another step further. But the beauty of all what happened was these parishioners actually were so kind to him and said, we were just here to pray and we love you and we want, and he just doubled down and tried to bait them. And I swear, I think he will, I believe he'll be charged eventually with violating the FACE Act. I do. And
I think so too. But Martha, to your point, again, demeanor. You walk into a church, you kind of cluster as a mob. People kind of probably saw this coming and they didn't know what to do. I wouldn't quite know what to do there, because you presume when you're at a church on a Sunday, basically engaged in practicing your faith, you don't think the left would be this vile, but they are. And I think that's where people were caught off guard because, this is a really low blow even for them. And I think this is why I believe it's important for DOJ to jump on this immediately, because this is something that's not acceptable. With that said, I remember Don Lemon saying that, "Oh, I'm a Christian too, and you're all racist because you don't support your brothers." Like, no, that's not what faith's about.
Nope.
Your faith is about your personal choices and your ability to take care of yourself and your family. It's not about advocating for other groups or individuals. You have no group. And by the way, I don't believe it's Christian that you have to essentially go out of your way to support communities which are engaged in fraud. It's common knowledge in Minnesota, and I've talked to my friends in Minnesota, that the Somali community is full of fraud. So I don't know why a Christian is obligated to support a community of frauds, right? I mean, I don't see how that's any Christian's job.
He doesn't care. He's just trying to be be involved in the thing, whatever the thing is. And I brought up that he had started doing like the man on the street interviews after he got fired from CNN, which, that's quite an accomplishment, by the way.
Yeah.
What was he, too liberal for them?
Listen, I'm telling you.
No, he got fired because he was demeaning women on air.
Yeah, he was. But if he's doing it on air, what is he doing behind the scenes? Okay, like you don't just get fired from CNN, but just for that one incident. I'm sorry, it cannot be.
Yeah.
There has to be something behind the scenes.
No, I know how these things work. I've been around.
Not if you check off 2 DEI boxes. That's a good point.
But he must have really, really pushed someone's buttons to the point.
No, there's probably about 5 different non-disclosure agreements of other things that happened behind the scenes that CNN paid off on his behalf.
Probably. I mean, but here he goes out into the real world and he starts asking questions with his microphone in Atlantic City Boardwalk, and he's not getting the answers that he wants because he's going into the real world. So what does he do? He pivots back to what he knows best, which is
antagonism.
Yes, and it really hit me hard when he did that, because here we have, that's like I said, a few weeks prior, there's a shooting. Could you imagine if there were cameras in that church when people were, and there probably were some that didn't, who knows, but if we had seen that happen in real time on a live stream, because Don Lemon has his camera, he didn't know what they were going to do. He had no idea what was going to happen. They may have told him one, what if they did another? And now he's involved and he's complicit in that as well. If someone got hurt, what if somebody had a heart attack in the church and died? This is what I'm saying. Like,
oh, wait, that would have earned him a guest spot on Jennifer Welch. So that's what he really got.
Please.
All right. Please. So again, just for the record, that's really Bill Nye. That's Bill Nye. That's not.
Wow.
She is the face of Chardonnay abuse.
That's Bill Nye and drag.
It's another example of like, why do people like that who it's like, are you making that much money? Have you sold your soul for what? What have you sold your soul for? Like, is it dollars or is it just the attention? They can't be making that much money where it's worth just throwing out their whole life.
There is a whole ecosystem funded by Soros. I can't remember the name of it, but there's an ecosystem on the left. Chris, we've talked about this a little bit.
The Great Open Society or something like that.
These creators get $8,000 a month, probably more by now because of inflation.
Well,
Joe Biden inflated everything. They all get
his own pocket now.
Yeah, this includes politics girl, and she's horrible, by the way.
Yeah. I saw your post on her.
Yeah, man, it's like, and someone was commenting, Rob Finnerty from Newsmax, which I work for, was commenting that, can you imagine going home every day to see her wine-soaked lips all saturated? It's like, no, Rob, that's Kool-Aid. She's like Jim Jones drinking the Kool-Aid.
I just don't get it. I don't know. I guess it's the feeding their ego and feeding their bank account becomes more important than the actual facts and the truth and the safety of innocent people.
There's an ecosystem like that Jersey girl. What's that Jersey? Joe from Jersey.
Yes.
And there's like a whole cluster of these egomaniacs, and they're all funded by the same fund.
We dealt with it after my husband's conviction and sentencing. I mean, they went after us, death threats. I mean, I've seen that there was coordinated effort in the media to vilify my husband without any the other side of the truth. I've never seen one good story from the mainstream media except the ones that I pursued and got for my husband. I've lived it for 5 years. I mean, I've seen what happens. We are victims of it. So, but I'll never understand it. And you know, I wrote a book called "In the Interest of Justice," and I talk about, and I have proof in there about the media's backdoor relationship with the government, with the Department of Justice, with the national security, and their mouthpieces for the government to put out this propaganda. And that's what it is. It's propaganda. Yep. So I've lived it, and I have proof. Like, I'm not just saying, and I've said this before.
I know. I'm sure.
I don't talk about anything I haven't lived in my own life. And I don't.
That's why. So, you know, that's why, you know, the truth be told, Martha, they pay these people. It's not because they're susceptible, they're egomaniacs, and they all are given the same talking points every day. There's like a thing in the morning, 4 a.m., the talking points go out. And it's interesting because it's like, just for the people who are watching, I get no talking points. If I get up in the morning, I'm on TV, I've done my own research, and we all do. Blaine and I will talk. Chris knows this too. I don't get talking points. We just talk about what we think is important, right?
Yes.
Right. But I mean, let's be fair though. The left gives us enough material. We should be doing 3 or 4 hours here. Okay.
You absolutely could. And that's why I always feel like we went through this experience for a reason. That's, you know, God's plan, obviously. And now we're using that to spread awareness, help other people, you know, expose a lot of it, and try to create some sort of change. And I tell you, there is a change. I've seen it. You know, I don't know if you follow Barry Weiss, took over CBS News.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Barry, you know, she's trying to move it a little bit, you know, a little bit.
Well, she's meeting resistance from the
establishment. A little bit late, since my friend Catherine Herridge was over there trying to do that before Barry got there and got fired because she wouldn't let go of the Hunter Biden corruption.
Oh yeah. Why report on that? Yeah.
I know, but I think that the fact that there's the reaction from the left about Barry White, like they're worried about her going over there, that tells me a lot. That tells me that they do not want her there, which is
good.
Of
course not.
Well, good sign. I took journalism in the 90s. These are the adults from the 90s journalism, the 2000 journalism schools, and these professors. And I was a minor. I was taking broadcast journalism as a whole. The thing is, though, these professors are teaching you that activist journalism was the way to go. Just reporting the facts rather than trying to mold the minds of people is no longer the way to do news. And they've been trying to push this and saying you have to kind of push up a story and they didn't say it in those words. Then I was in this other group where the speaker, it was a local group here in Orange County, and the speaker was the head of the local paper, which is nothing more than a little thin thing now, but it was a nice big. It was a big rag before that. And his speech was the future of newspapers and the media is to mold what people think.
Yeah, it's not the job.
People think. This is a mentality that is taken the entire left side of the media establishment, and they ran with it. And now people are trying to pull it back to the days of we report, you decide.
Yeah.
And they don't like it. They don't like it.
No, I mean, I graduated from college in the 80s, 86. And I had a number of what I would consider liberal professors who were focused on teaching process and critical thinking, not advocating for propaganda. Now, something happened between the 80s and 90s because, to your point, Chris, everybody all of a sudden started becoming, oh, no, we don't want you to think about stuff. We want you just to take the party line and expand it and amplify it. So it's bad. But we got to, we should talk more about this another day regarding the nature of this. Maybe have Catherine back on. You know, Catherine and I were talking yesterday a little bit. So
I just saw her in DC on the street. I just about 2 weeks ago. I stopped. She's amazing.
Oh, it's great. She's the real deal. And man, she gets a hold of something she doesn't let go. So no,
I can't go on the streets anymore over there. Not the National Guard's over there, but that's another story.
Yeah, well. But speaking of someone who's not allowed on the streets, let's talk about this because I got a hard out at 1. I got to go, but
yes.
We got. Let's go. Chris set this out earlier. Jimmy Kimmel. Is he crying? Tell me, crying eyes. What's that song? You can't hide your lion eyes or crying eyes. It's crying eyes.
It's not Cry Baby Cry, or the taste of your tears by King. There's an obscure song.
Wow.
It did hit in Britain though. I'm a big King fan, so it's not fair.
There's Jimmy.
Yeah, when they say
Jimmy,
no
we
kings,
hardly knew you.
I was really upset with that No Kings rally because King was one of my favorite bands from the 80s. And I'm saying no, I say more Kings, more than that, just the 2 albums and Paul King's solo album, too. Paul,
Yeah.
if you're hearing this, I want another solo album at the very least. Anyway, did you hear
If our
Jimmy?
leaders are intentional,
Let's give you some Jimmy.
if our leaders are intentionally creating and encouraging violence and fear, then I hope you will also agree we need new leaders because these are not leaders.
Oh,
And
the obligatory cheer.
And to the people of Minneapolis, to the Preddy family and the Good family, and these people who were looking out for their neighbors, we
They
want
were.
you to know that we are with you and you are not alone.
Yeah, I'm sure he's crying. The guy hasn't been funny since Win Ben Stein's Money anyway.
Yeah.
I
The best way to put it.
listen, the fact that these late night shows that are not, nobody's watching them, their ratings are terrible, and they're spending
Yeah,
so
horrible.
much money. I mean, I would predict that they will all be gone when the contracts are up because it just costs a fortune.
It does.
We're never going to change this mindset of these talk show leaders, hosts, whatever. They make $20 million a year. They have a staff of over 200 for one guy. Don't get it. Because they're
Oh,
writing.
I get it. 'Cause
Well,
they ain't talented. They
Right,
can't
and they
do
don't-
anything.
yeah, they need the writers.
They're little parrots.
Yep.
Well,
That's why.
they're not. They're right. They're not allowed to even write the jokes they probably would want to write,
Yeah.
and they've gotten rid of that. So what I don't get with these guys is that their job is not that what they're doing right now. That is not what it's
No.
supposed to be. It is self-serving. It is their own opinion. They only bring on Democrat guests. They are using the platform for a political purpose. And I mean, you'll never see, it's so rare that you would see a Republican on any of these shows. I mean, I got to give it to Bill Maher. I really do. He is like taking it from the left. He's like, okay, I am a old class Democrat. And they're on him. They're on his case. But what does Bill Maher do? Bill Maher brings on the people that are a little controversial on the right, and he'll bring them on. He'll bring on Kid Rock. He'll bring on, and that's because he understands the platform, what it's supposed to be, and we need more of that. But I mean, Jimmy is clearly suffering. I mean, on a serious note. I mean, really, on a serious note, the fact that this band, he's clearly suffering personally of something, and international television is not the place to be airing your struggles. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not. I just
both know. No, I mean, you're an entertainer. I'm an entertainer. The show must go on no matter what. I had just a little personal note, very quick. I had a hell of a migraine last night. I had to go to a board meeting. I had to do Newsmax hits, and you just get through it, and you show up and you do your job. You don't complain, right, Martha? You just show up and you do your job. This guy wears his malady on his sleeve, and I think it's sad. What's that, Chris?
Oh, this is actually one of the greatest movies ever made, starring Bill Maher. Cannibal Women from the Avocado Jungle of Death. How good was this movie? How good was this movie? Not only did it have Maher, it had Shannon Tweed and Adrienne Barbeau and that Killer Tomato Girl in the same movie.
That's a good find right there.
Yeah. Was Bill consumed by the cannibals, I hope?
Almost.
A good news story?
Almost. It was kind of a mock feminist movie, but it was actually very good. It wasn't as bad as you'd think it was, but it was hilarious. It was pretty.
I've seen.
Really good.
Well, it can't be worse than Starfleet Academy. Just saying. I mean,
no. A lot of them come from backgrounds of acting, in the entertainment. It's entertainment. It's I've always said, like, we need escapism television in our culture right now. We don't have that. It's so rare. I was on a soap opera forever. That was fun. People watch, and we watch to laugh. Like, we want to be able to get away from this stuff for an hour or two.
Well, I don't mind. Shows which have content that relate to making you think. Like, I'm a big fan of Battlestar Galactica, both original and reimagined. Ronald Moore, brilliant man. I don't mind being exposed to controversy as long as both sides are shown.
Right.
like, you know, and
Right.
I loved Battlestar because it showed kind of any number of good and bad. Star Trek, the original series, and you know, things like that I think are fine. I mean, some things are just pure escapism, like Sex in the City, you know,
Right.
which, by the way, was a very well written show. I must say,
It
Oh,
was.
it
I've never-
was
I barely
very
seen it.
the last stuff. The last
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
things
they
was
didn't-
all woke.
One
but
of
the
them tried to
original
run for
series
governor
was
here.
superb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that. Hey,
And,
but
and
some of them,
Sarah Jessica Parton almost knocked me over when I was walking through Manhattan one day. Just saying, I forgave her though. Just
She does
Well,
go on the move. She is. And that show too is another example of like they would bring up topics and make you think. It was still a great
Yeah.
show and fun, but they
Yeah,
would bring up all
I
these issues
agree.
that were
Yeah.
that's what we're supposed to do. And,
Exactly.
And I'm telling you, being in the entertainment industry too, is that I'm not in it really anymore. But when I was younger, we all had different thoughts, and that's how we learned from each other. We all had different
Exactly.
life experiences. We would riff off each other to try to make the scenes better, you know. And it's now like either you think this way or you're done, you know. And it's
Right.
I just hope he gets help. He clearly needs, you know, he's not okay, and that's maybe this isn't the right venue for him.
Well,
You know,
so Martha, the thing at that level, they give him so much money to make himself feel better, and it's never about the money. The money's not going to make him feel better. Just saying.
well, even the comedies, and this is the sick part about it. They're all trying to be way too serious.
yes.
This is actually very serious.
The Young Ones, what a great show.
Hi there.
Uh,
Whoops.
Yeah.
Free
It's like
advertisement.
absolutely absolutely fabulous. I mean, you can laugh.
Oh my God!
Yes, that was a great
Absolutely
show.
Fabulous was
Talk
another
about,
brilliant
like,
show.
Off the
Oh,
rails. I mean, off the rails. The women with the writing, but it's
So-
brilliant. Brilliant.
well, I grew up watching Benny Hill. I went to high school in Lisbon, Portugal, and so Benny Hill was huge. I
So
mean, really huge. Yeah.
Funny,
so-
funny.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right. And of course the Black Adder. Can't forget the Black Adder.
What's
Yeah.
that? I don't know that
Oh,
one.
you should see the Black Adder. That's Rowan.
Rowan Atkinson.
Rowan.
I love Rowan
yeah.
Atkinson.
A
okay.
classic.
On
a
my list.
classic. Yes. Definitely. All four of them, by the way, they're all great. Equally
So I don't
great.
know what, but you know, a lot of these guys, something happened. Like John Cleese apparently is dating a 19-year-old because he's all woke.
Because he can, I
What
guess.
the hell happened?
Because he can. Why is he
It's
doing it? He can.
It's
It's
true.
all right. You know, whatever. Just
I
keep
came out the other day. It's like, John, are you dating a 19-year-old again?
It's
Like,
just as long as you don't put your opinions on me and try to, you know,
well,
whatever.
one
you
of the thing I want to cover before we go, because I do need to get going, but I do want to hit Chris, and I think you're ready for this. Let's see here.
Oh no.
How's that? No. Well, Chris sent all these points, and I'm lost in the points.
Yeah.
It's too many points. 1,000 points of life. I feel like George Bush Senior.
Yeah, and Tony usually says the points at the top of my head, so it's another story.
Yeah. So, all right, let's cover this real quick. So, the NYU and the left says we're going to have Nuremberg style trials
The
against
professor.
us. And so they call us the fascists, yet they're the ones saying, "Oh, we're going to invoke Nazi-like loyalty tests. Yeah, you will comply." So, I mean, do they not understand? It's like you're the fascists here, not us. You're the ones threatening to go after people because we're expressing our point of view. What do you think there?
I think they're always guilty of what they're accusing you of.
Oh yeah.
It happens
yeah.
all the time. It's projection, and
Yeah.
if they put the attention over there, you won't look at them. And it's you know, when people are I use the word brainwashed in a very gentle way because it's like there are levels of it, but when they believe what they believe, then nothing outside of that is even going to get in. And
Yeah.
I think I've learned a long time. Well, I should say recently more. Like you're not going to change them. They're never going to hear it as fact. So stop trying. What can you do to counter that? Like you said, Tony, we got to live our lives. We are not that. We are the opposite of that. We are loving, kind people who want the best for our neighbors. We are sometimes Catholic, sometimes pro-life, sometimes all the things that they hate. but we're just going to continue to live our lives because the only thing that counters that is the good. We need more good. We need more warriors out there. You know, we need more of the youth. And I know I have children, they're 23, 27 and 19. And they're, you know, they're like good people. Like they're not like they see the truth out there. And I think there's more of that than not. But what gets the attention is the yelling and the screaming and the carrying on.
Yeah. So two things on that. So I saw we talked about this probably about 6 months ago. I was driving through Elizabeth City. And by the way, you know, I'm an elected official down here. And once you're elected, and I said this to a number of folks, you got to work on helping all the people. That's your job. Once you're in office, I help both sides. I'm on 5 different boards. We deal with a lot of issues, and we help anybody who needs the help. That's the job. And the left doesn't do that. So I was in Elizabeth City, and I saw this on a clearly liberal woman's car. This was the tag: raise good humans.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm sure that's never going to happen, but that's the point. One of the things I don't know how you've raised your kids. I've raised my kids to think for themselves. You don't have to agree with me. I've always said that. I don't care if you agree with me or not, but I want you to think. I want you to look at things independently. Don't accept what somebody's telling you. You go check for yourself. And I'd like to believe all my kids have benefited from that. They don't all agree with me all the time, but for the most part, I think they understand where I'm coming from in most things. So I hope your kids are similarly inclined to think for themselves. So
I just like when they come and ask me questions, because that means they're thinking about it, right? They want to hear, they've thought about it. Their friends are talking about it. They, you know, as a pro-life person, you can imagine having, you know, children in this generation, what that's all about, and the questions that are asked of me that I can answer with some authority and understanding. So that's good. Like the kids will come in and start asking, well, what do you think about that? Like, for instance, they'll ask me probably about the Elmar thing, the Elon Omar. Like, what do you think about that? To my husband, who's a law enforcement, like they want to hear the takes, because first of all, they trust you. You're the parent. So they know that you're going to tell them your version of the truth and what you believe, and then they can cross-reference it with their own information and decide for themselves. And that's worked out for us. And especially, listen, you have to understand what we've been through in the last 5 years. For my children to have a reality that our federal government went after their innocent father, who was a hero, for them to live through that and see the reality of that and see what happened, what the FBI did to my husband, what they thought was the good turned out to be the opposite. And they had to live with that and learn in real time. And that's very eye-opening. It was very eye-opening for them in a good way, I think, because now they go through life with a greater understanding of that. There are not all good people out there, you know?
No, we all have our awakening. Look, I had to go through as a whistleblower to find out our government isn't on the side of the truth. Just saying.
That's right.
It's like, this is a lesson.
Oh,
so
yes.
We got to leave it there for today. So, Chris, I got to go. Well, so Marha Byrne, thank you for being here.
Oh, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Show her book again, and her. You have the thing on her.
Here's my
show her book, Chris. There it is.
I just happen to have a copy next to me.
Oh, there it is. Okay, we'll even do that. All right, there we go.
Put it up, and then talk about
right
it
here,
in the interest of justice. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, guys. Yes, it's getting some great reviews, and people are really learning a lot by reading it about the whole system from a civilian's perspective. So it's been
and so. But there's not, just for the record, the back, there's not a scratch and sniff that spells like Nancy Pelosi's vineyard, is there?
No,
nothing with Nancy.
Not in this version. Not in this version.
Nope. Mad Dog 2020, not a good smell.
Mad Dog 2020, that's right.
Mad Dog. Oh my gosh. Oh my.
So and then talk about her show, Chris. What's her show again?
It's Burn Unscripted.
Mercatla.
Burn Unscripted, and it's and I've been doing it for a few months now. I'm really enjoying it. I've got some great guests on my show. Somebody from Peter Schweitzer.
Check it out.
Coming out next week, so it's exciting.
Excellent. Well, we're going to have you back. We're going to do a deep dive on the crime and justice issues, and all that. So Chris will line it up probably a week. Well, like I said, we have to do something this week. We'll do that next, and then
fantastic.
If anything you need from us, let us know. I mean, we have the same constellation of friends. I see Barry in the chat there with us, and
yes,
Barry was there. Yeah, Barry's cool. There, and some of the other ne'er-do-wells. Can I use that term, Chris? Ne'er-do-wells? I think I can use that.
The Rogues Gallery. How about that?
The Rogues Gallery, the good Rogues Gallery. Yeah,
the villagers. We could be the villagers.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
Well, I met you at
Be-
CPAC a
Be
couple years
seeing
ago,
you.
Tony. CPAC,
Yeah, I remember that.
Rob O'Donnell and those guys. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so you're.
I love Rob. Yeah.
Rob's amazing. So we are in
Yeah,
the same
so-
circle. Good guys. The good guys.
Yeah. So
For sure.
yeah, it's kind of I enjoy meeting folks most of the time. It's like people like you, and it's interesting because so much of what we do is trying to advocate for the truth, and it's not an easy thing. And I don't think people understand. It's like, well, we have our little friendship circle. Man, I was telling Chris, like I said, I was on the Times radio. It's like, I'm not going to allow you to tell me what my thoughts are. And so much of that happens from the left. It's like, for those, some of you saw some of the knuckleheads from the British left came after me. Oh, you were a coward. It's like, no, dude, I just don't care to play your game. I'm not playing your stupid games. You can go away. I don't need your time or your media.
Right.
It's fine. So
And you don't need
know,
to give
it is
them a
what it is.
viral moment either.
No, we don't
It
want
didn't
that.
work. It's like,
Right.
yeah, I don't care. It's like you're not important enough to me to even care. It's like, I'm done. Bye. But anyway, you all, you matter. You matter. You all matter. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you again later. So thanks, Martha. Thanks, Chris. We'll see you soon.
Take care.